When you're reading a newspaper, you're reading an article online on a news site, they have the headline, right? The headline is usually it's not a full sentence. It's what's called a fragment. Uh, Grammatically, a fragment, it doesn't have certain elements that make it a sentence. Well, I've noticed in memoir writing, there are some writers who use that kind of headline journalism style, and they employ these fragments too much. A fragment here or there, that is, a partial sentence. Usually it's missing the doer of the action, which is the subject of the sentence. But a partial sentence here and there is not a problem and actually can provide an emphatic statement. But when you overdo it and you use it a lot, it becomes kind of annoying, actually, to the reader. Here's an example from one of my students. He's at work, and he's then closing up, and he's going home. So he says, standard day in the pharmacy. Doesn't that sound like a headline in a newspaper? Standard day in the pharmacy. Bitching and moaning from a Karen and some delusional but sweet old ladies. Air conditioner was having issues, so it was a pretty gruesome day. The heat was getting to everyone. It was 9 p.m. I screamed out closing time and locked all the doors as fast as possible, cleaned my stations, and turned off the computers and the lights. Walked my pharmacist to their car and said the usual "see ya" whenever. Drove home listening, it should be, to some headbangers by Billy Talent and the Megas. Got home, changed into my pajamas, and waddled over to the freezer. So you can see all those sentence fragments, right? I think there's very few full sentences in here. I think the one that starts, it was 9 p.m. and then I screamed out closing time. Those are the full grammatically correct sentences. The other ones are all partial sentences because they're missing the doers of the action, right? I walked my pharmacist. I drove home. I got home, and so on. I think what's going on here is the writer is just tired of using I. Many of you who are writing your memoirs, you probably get tired of starting a sentence with I, right? You feel like there's too many I's. So I think what he did is he went through and just removed all the I's. That's creating grammatical problems, but beyond grammar, just thinking stylistically, I find this kind of annoying. It reminds me of kind of journal entries, maybe, like little point form journal entries. So the tip here is simply to write in full sentences, full grammatical sentences. It's not bad to start sentences with I. I mean, most people just don't even think about it when they read it. It's so natural to us to read sentences, a succession of sentences with I starting. So don't worry about it. It's not going to draw too much attention. There are other ways that you can start a sentence that can avoid saying I if you're worried about it. But I don't think having a succession of sentence fragments is a good solution. Use a sentence fragments here and there occasionally when you want to make a key point, an emphatic point, but don't overdo it.